the question you have raised is that after Hazrat sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Nabuwat was granted only to Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salam. So do we conceive from that it has to come to an end at Hazrat sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? This would also raise another very nasty question. If this is the meaning of Khatam al-Nabiyyin, the one to whom the Nabuwat, at whom the Nabuwat comes to an end, then will Hazrat Masih Maud be the Khatam al-Nabiyyin? These two questions are very closely related. So first of all, if the word, the term Khatam al-Nabiyyin means there can be no prophet of any sort after Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, then Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam cannot be a prophet of any sort. Khatam al-Nabiyyin is only Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah. None else shares this Khatamiyat with him, either in the past or in the future. He was Khatam even before his advent. And that is what we read in the traditions of Hazrat Rasulullah Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He says, I was Khatam before Adam was turning in his primordial soup of his creation. You know, as if something is turning over like this before it is made. So he said, before Adam was turning in and around in his state of primordial soup or primordial state of his creation, I was a Khatam even before that. So if the word Khatam means there can be no prophet whatsoever in any form, in any sense, after the Khatam has come, then Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was made Khatam before Adam. So the entire line of prophethood comes to an end there, should have come to an end. So the word Khatam should be first understood. The word Khatam in reality means the very top, beyond which nobody can even be conceived. The end of line in status, in position, in command. Over and above whom there can be no person belonging to that category. So in this respect, Khatamiyat is timeless. A man who is Khatam even before the prophets were born would remain Khatam after the man comes to an end as a species. He will still remain a Khatam. Khatam means the very best, above whom there cannot be anything. This is the Arabic usage which we find applicable to all other situations where the word Khatam is used. For instance, if you buy a collection of poetry of Mutanabbi, for instance, there you will find his title as Khatam al-Shu'ara, a poet who was the Khatam. Now, does it mean that no Arab poet was born ever after Mutanabbi? Of course it cannot mean that, because the hundreds and thousands of poets who were recognized as poets who were born among the Arabs and others. He can't be Khatam al-Shu'ara in that sense. But this type of usage is plentiful in every sphere of human activity. Even Bu Ali Sina, the great physician whose book the Canon is recognized also in Europe even today, he is referred to by the Arabs, and this is written also on his great thesis Al-Canon, Al-Qanun it was originally, as Khatamul Atibba, the Khatam of all physicians. And we know, in fact, all physicians worth the song appeared after him, not before him. He was the beginner of that school of philosophy on which modern science is born, modern science of cure and healing is born. And yet he is referred to as Khatam. But leaving that aside, now I turn to the usage of word Khatam by Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam himself. It is reported that addressing Hazrat Ali, he said, "O Ali, you are Khatam of the pious or Asfiya." Or Asfiya means those people who love God and remember God and who are purified by God. So Hazrat Rasul Kareem sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to him, "You are the Khatam of pious people, as I am the Khatam of the prophets." How would you translate this? If Khatamiyat means all types of prophethood came to a dead end at the appearance of the Khatam among the prophets, then it would mean that Hazrat Ali was the symbol of the dead end of the road to piety. No pious man would ever be born after him. Would you take it as that? Yes. Certainly not. So this means that the word Khatam should first be fully understood, and then we turn to the future possible prophet. But the Holy Quran further explains it by telling not only that Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the last in station and stature, but also it says that his teaching had been perfected. Because if he is the greatest prophet, how could he be the greatest if his teaching was not the greatest? So that is a logical conclusion of the same claim, that the teaching of Hazrat Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam should have been perfected, otherwise he couldn't be the greatest of prophets. And that is exactly what the Holy Quran has said. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-islam adina. Today, this day, we have perfected the teaching and brought to full consummation the nema, that is prophethood, and from now on we are happy and satisfied with the faith Islam. So this means a prophet is Khatam, who is the very best. A prophet is Khatam when his teaching is perfect and no other teaching can ever supersede it. This also blocks the way of Bahaiyat, totally and perfectly. No Bahaiyat after Islam. And then the Holy Quran also goes on building the same theme by describing what Khatamiyat is, by declaring that Khatam is a prophet after whom no independent prophet can ever come. If a prophet can come, he has to be subordinate. Because if the most perfect prophet has come, then only someone can be born under him to be guided to the stage of prophet, not apart from him, not independent of him. And this logical conclusion has also been made clear in a verse in Surah An-Nisa, where the Holy Quran says, وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ مَعَ الَّذِينَ أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ مِنَ النَّبِيِّينَ وَالصِّدِّيقِينَ وَالشُّهَدَاءِ وَالصَّالِحِينَ وَحَسُنَ أُولَٰئِكَ رَفِيقًا. مَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَالرَّسُولَ, whoever obeys Allah and our Rasul, this Prophet Muhammad, you have to believe in all prophets, but to obey after the advent of Islam is only essential with regard to Rasul Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You obey Allah and obey Him. That is all Allah requires of you. If you do that, what would happen? Would you be punished or rewarded?
Rewarded.
Rewarded. In what sense?